Wonderful morning to everyone. Welcome once again to Valley Academy and Valley Trade. This is the morning market review. My name is Victor. I'm going to be your host for today's market review. So let's see what the market has for us today, how we can take advantage of it, and make some good money for ourselves. All right. So let me pull up my charts so we can kick off. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Morning, Mr. Brown. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Ferry. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. All right. So, please confirm you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please confirm you can see it. Just confirm yes on the chat so we can proceed. If you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Felix. Thank you. Yeah, we have unfinished business. Yes, we do. Okay. Uh, mm, okay, so let's see. Now, basically, yes, we'll finish our business. We'll finish it. We'll proceed to the next. So technically, sorry, fundamentally rather, because our trades, the market is fueled by a number of things. There are things that drive the market. Scientifically, for those of you who are science students, said an object remains at a state of rest or the state of rest except an external force acts on it. So the markets wouldn't move, price would remain static except some forces act on it. Now the major forces are that of the suppliers and demands. Supply, demand, which are the buyers and sellers. But there are certain things that sometimes influence people to buy or influence people to sell. So for instance, if I tell you now, as a Nigerian, or uh, let me use this as an example, that a bag of rice is now 10,000 naira relative to what it is now. By tomorrow, a bag of rice becomes 10,000. What happens? Most households will buy not just little, they will buy bags of rice, right? So that action, the drop in the price of rice, will make people buy more. So you find out that there are more buyers in the market for that particular commodity than the sellers. Okay, so there are certain things that happens that influences our decisions. So buyers become more in the market, sellers become less. And sometimes sellers becomes more, buyers becomes less. Now, these are some of the things we are talking about fundamentals. These are economic data, news, economic events, and now these events, depending on the outcome, influences people either to buy or sell. So for instance, if NFP comes out good, a lot of persons want to be buying the dollar. And if it comes out bad, you want to be selling the dollar. Why do you have more people buying the dollar when NFP comes out bad? Sorry, comes out good. Because you were influenced by that decision. So these are the fundamentals we're talking about. So if you are trading and you don't know that there is something going on in the market, you know, or that's Newton's third law of motion. Thank you, thank you. I'm not a student, but I've taken note of that. So next time I want to quote that, I would say according to Newton's third law of motion. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Appreciate it. All right. So we want to know what the market is going to be looking like when it comes to fundamentals. Hence, we are more focused on the red envelope events. I know a lot of you are familiar with the Forex Factory, but for those who are not, let me just recap this one. We are more focused on the red envelope events because they are high impact. If it comes out, there's every tendency that is going to affect the market a lot. So in the space of few seconds, few minutes, the market will just make some moves. All right, so you need to be aware of them. Then the brown envelope events, these are just medium impacts. Most times we don't really focus on them, but we completely jettison the yellow envelope as well as the white envelope. So sometimes we have the white envelope events, they are non-economic. All right, they are non-economic. Good morning, Mr. Clark. Okay, so now, given that we have just the President Trump is going to be speaking around 5:15, which is 4:15. Let's just take 1 hour back. And so it's not a data news. Hence, we are mostly fundamental free for most part of today. Okay. There's no other currency. That of AUD, it's 2:30 a.m. has passed. And it came out the same, so no effects. So basically, we can just safely go to our charts and see what the market is going to do technically. Now, technically, you should also need to understand how the market moves. It's not just enough to say, oh, on USD card, for instance, I'm looking at buying or I want to sell. Why should I buy? Why should I sell? There are certain things that we need to see to give us that confidence to buy or to sell. So whenever you come to any charts, this is what you do to analyze the chart. So I give this simple step. Go to your higher time frames, specifically your daily time frame. Specifically your daily time frame. That's one. Now, on your daily time frame, you are looking out for something like this. On your daily time frame, you are looking out for something like this. So if we are bullish, you are looking out for, any range. It doesn't matter how the range happens. The range might have happened something like this. It comes down again. You're looking for any range. Now, basically, this is a range because we have like equal highs around something, somewhere like this, right? We have like equal highs around this level. So what you are going to be doing is you are waiting for, if we are bullish, that means our trend is to the upside. You are waiting for a break of this level. So when price successfully breaks above, so when price successfully breaks above, what you want to do is to wait for a retest. All right, a retest into that level. Now, this will be on the daily. If you come to your lower time frame, say 1 hour, on your 1 hour time frame, it will look like price has gone up massively. Right? It will look like price has gone up massively. And let me extend this. Price has gone up massively. So for price to come to this level, it will look like it's giving you that kind of a bearish kind of movement. You have something like this. Let's say a push to the downside. Then you have another push to the upside, a little, then more push to the downside. All right. You have another push to the upside, and possibly finally, oops. So finally, then you have that push that comes into this your point of interest. Call it point of interest. So basically, at that area, you want to see price shift momentum back to the upside. Okay, so that's exactly what we are going to be looking out for. All right. So I'm just showing you what you be looking out for to take a trade. So now let's switch. Let me go back and refresh everything. So this is my daily time frame. Now you'll find out that before now we're overall bullish. Now we are bearish. We've been bearish. Now the same thing, I can even repeat this exact same thing on my daily time frame. You can do it on any time frame, but it holds more weight on your higher time frame, right? So if you are a swing trader, we can do more advanced stuff. Now, this is to tell you that, uh, let me take all of these equal highs. Let me take all of these equal highs first. So if I take all of these equal highs, at the moment price broke out, okay. So you notice that there was a retest. Now this equal highs somehow extends to this level, but let's pick it from here. Notice this was a false break that didn't hold, but here, let's see. Those time in Forex Factory is gonna, is that, sorry, please, those time on the Forex Factory news that Trump is gonna talk, is it Niger time? Okay, okay, I understand. Yes, so we have daylight savings, hence we like there's a 1 hour window behind. So currently, if you check your Forex Factory, so just please, I need to explain this. For if you check your Forex Factory and you see 5:15, just take out 1 hour. So it's gonna be 4:15 at the moment. All right, there's daylight savings. Now, for some persons, except I go back to reset. If I go back to reset, then I'll have my accurate current time. Okay. So if you notice price retested here and pushed higher, retested here but didn't hold, pushed lower. So currently where we are, we need price to push either higher or lower. That is on a much higher analysis. Okay, we need price to push either higher or lower. So for instance, price fails to push higher here, and it looks more like it will drop, isn't it? Good. So it looks more like it will drop because price is not breaking above this level right here. It's not really breaking above this level. Okay. Now there are two schools of thoughts to this. If price can successfully go above this level, yeah, all we need is a retest. And if that retest holds and we see that price starts pushing up, then we can join it for a buy because most likely price then continue shooting to the upside. Now, alternatively, price is looking more like it's coming to the downside for the USD CAD at the moment. So it's looking more of bearish, and possibly that bearish move is headed for these levels right here, this level right here. So if we switch to a 1 hour time frame, a much lower time frame, you would see what we are talking about. Okay, so we are still expecting price to shift lower because previously price has been shifting higher. Now you can see that price is beginning to print out the pattern of a downtrend. We don't have much time to explain market structure. You understand if price is moving a certain way, it's giving you signal that price wants to be pushing to the downside. Okay, so the reason for price pushing up here is aiming for this supply level, which when it got to, it held this supply area here, held and is pushing downward. Now, where are we expecting it to push downward to? All the way to this level. Okay, so our USD CAD looks more bearish. So perhaps we'll find more easier analysis on the euro dollar. Now, the euro dollar, the same thing. I've gone to my 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. I'm sorry, daily time frame. Daily time frame, and if you zoom out, you find out that your current trend is to the upside, right? The current trend is to the upside. Now, I'm not using trend line. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the correct, but I'm just showing you that on the higher time frame, like daily, price is giving us bullish structure. Okay, it's telling us that we are that they're not trend. Now that's one. So what do I do with this information? I'd like to buy. So what I want to see is a break and retest, a break and retest, something I told you earlier. So something like this. I'd like to see something like this. This was a high, okay, a high, and this is another high. So you realize that price broke out of this high, retested and continued higher, leaving us with yet another high, which is this high. All right. Now it broke above this high, broke above this high with this move, retested and pushed higher. Now, up onto the point where we are. Now, I created this high, right? So if I take this high all the way, you will notice that price pushed back to this high, first retested, pushed, came into it, looked like it was going down, but respected it and it pushed back up. So which means that we are buying, isn't it? So the euro dollar is still supporting our buy. So if I come to my lower time frame to buy, I can do the same thing. I look for a previous high that price just broke, right? The previous high that price just broke. You can see this high here, especially if they are like equal highs. So if I take this, you find out that we keep pushing higher. So price broke out of this level, right? And retested and is pushing higher. So I expect the euro dollar to keep pushing higher, right? To keep pushing higher, especially because it has created yet another equal highs all the way here. So price is breaking above this high right now. So I expect the euro dollar to keep pushing higher. Now, alternatively, if by any means whatever happens in the market, if it comes back to the downside, then it's aiming back for this level. Probably it wants to start again. But irrespective, in the long run, I still expect the euro dollar to push high based on technical analysis. And I'll be buying the euro dollar. Okay. And I think I said it since last week. I was expecting, this was what I was expecting. Now, if I come to my daily, you can see this level right here, this level, this level right here. I think I had it more streamlined. I had it more streamlined. I exempted the week. Okay. So this level here, I've been waiting for price to come to this level. This level. I call it my point of interest. And when price comes to this level, I want to see a shift in the market structure. So from bearish to bullish. That price entered this point here that I've marked before price came here. So I was marked this point. Let me see what this person is saying. Good morning, Mr. DM. So I was expecting price to get here. Now, so some persons will say, oh, price got here and it's pushing high. Let me buy. Okay, you buy, maybe a little. Now, price came back here, let me buy. And you buy, and price kept dipping inside and inside. Probably because you don't have enough funds in your accounts, everything wipes, or you find yourself in a huge drawdown. Huge drawdown. You are at the mercy of the market at this point. So, NFP came. The market was waiting for NFP before it goes to the upside to see the results. And the dollar was bad for the dollar, so it pushed high. And I was just waiting for it to break any previous high, which I had this previous high here. The moment it broke, I knew I just needed a retracement for us to keep pushing higher, which it did. So I was expecting that all through last week, because NFP was 1st of August. So all through last week, I was expecting the euro dollar to keep pushing higher. So this was Friday, this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before we now had that push. Thursday, Friday. Now, this week, I expect it to keep pushing higher because I expect that price should get back to at least these levels, the last high here. So I expect price to get to that level. So until price gets to that level, this level here, I will keep buying Euro USD. All right. I don't know if you understand that in sense. So that's it. Then GBP USD, I think the same analysis on dollar, GBP USD. Please, when I'm done with GBP USD, I'll ask if you are following so that I'll know I'm not alone here. So daily time frame. On my daily time frame, remember you are looking out for break and retest, break and retest. Okay. So so for instance, something like this. So this was a high created. Now let me reiterate this for those who don't understand what I'm talking about. Right. So I'm saying that there's a difference between something like this, automatically it makes this point here a high, right? It makes this point here a high. Good. So what depend on how price does it. Now, if price then push to the upside, which is a break, so I need a retest into this level to hold, right? For us to keep pushing higher. Now that's one. But what I would like to see is, you see, what gives confidence to take this trade is more of how price does that retracement. So a little retracement, not bad, but if the retracement is significant, is better. Like is better. It makes this point here a strong high, right? A very strong high. If you remember, for those who were here last week, Wednesday, I was talking about what qualifies this zone for me, gives me more confidence, is how much retracement happened here before this point was broken, this high was broken. How far down did it go first? The further down it goes, the better it is when it breaks, right? The better it is when it breaks, okay? So once it breaks, so what I want is, sometimes it can happen a little bit down, but at least this level should hold for me, okay? Then we push higher again. Now, this is what I want, but I want to see this first on my higher time frame. I wouldn't want to see it on my lower time frames. The probability of this holding on 1 hour is, let's say, 50, 60%. The probability of this holding on daily 4 hours is like 70%. Probability of this holding on a daily time frame is about 80%. Okay, so the higher the time frame, the higher the possibility of these levels being respected. Right? So now that being said, let me go back, take all of this out. Take all of this out and restart this. So I see something like this. Okay, you see this high? The retracement was not much. This is daily time frame. The retracement wasn't much. Okay, but fortunately, it held. Right? It still held. And price pushed to the upside. Then you see, now there are two. You see this high when it was broken, this retest, okay? When it broke, okay, so it hasn't done this retest before. So all of this was just to do the retest, which created also this high for us here. So this is the high that price came back into. So now if you have been following it, that means it created this high, which at this point, okay, let me push it this way first. So when it created this high here, notice that it respected this one. It also did respect it, pushed higher, right? Good. So we were expecting price to keep pushing, but sometimes if it breaks, it's coming back to that previous level. So price came back to this level before starting that move again. And it has broken every barrier in its way up. So what do you think should be happening to GBP USD right now? Should it keep pushing higher or should it push lower? And as it's pushing higher, for instance, we are aiming back at this high. We are aiming back at this high. Okay? So the same thing on 4 hours, this is how it looks like. Now on 1 hour. So the challenge is, where do I then join for the buy? Where do I join for the buy? How do I enter the buy for this? If you cannot buy instantly, then you would obviously do the same thing you did on the higher time frame. This was a high, and this high is actively being broken as we speak. Okay, so it can just keep going and it might take a while, or you can wait for a retest to keep pushing to the upside. But seeing that price is just breaking, we can possibly join this, except we want to wait for the retest. Because in the long run, we are still expecting price to keep pushing higher on GBP USD. Now, if you can master this strategy that I'm showing you right here, you will be on fire. The market will fear you. Trust me. If you can master this strategy, the market will fear you. Okay, so this is USD CHF. So on GBP USD, I still expect a further uh, uh, push to the upside. Push to the upside. Now, USD CHF. Now, anything that is against the CHF is in trouble because USD CHF is on the downward trend. Overall, you can see on my daily time frame, we are overall bearish, right? Which means sell trades are more preferred. Now, unlike when we're buying, right? Here we are looking out for a break to the downside, a retest, and a continuous push. So something like this. So we had this break. We had this break to the downside. This was a support level. It broke. Now on a higher time frame daily, you just don't do it on a 1 hour or 4 hours. You do it first on the daily. All right, to recognize that point. Now, this is going to be my point of interest where I shaded here. It's going to be my point of interest where I'll be looking at taking more trades, sell trades, if it holds for me. All right. Now, on 4 hours, you can see that that level looked like it wanted to be broken. It broke out, but quickly broke back in, isn't it? Now, finally, on 1 hour time frame. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm looking out for sell opportunities. And right now we are having an active sell, an active sell. So on 1 hour, you can now repeat that same process. Although we are supposed to do proper market structure, there's not enough time. I wish we have enough time. We have like 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm going to drill you on how to really take trades like this. Okay. Now there are two ways. So price is breaking below this previous low it printed. So you can wait for a possible retest if you don't want to join the sell now to keep pushing lower, all right? To keep pushing lower. This is on the micro level, but on the macro level, which is on the larger picture, excuse me, I'll need to see this area also taken out. So it's aiming to come take out these levels. It's aiming to come take out these levels right here. Okay, let me change this color. So once those levels are taken out, then there is no going back. Okay. So once these levels are taken out, there's no going back. So price is just aiming to take out these levels that we're talking about. So in the long run, I'm still expecting USD CHF to push to the downside, right? USD CHF to push to the downside. NZD USD also, here's my point of interest. Yeah, this was my point of interest from the daily. And how did I get this? Okay, so you can see, let me go back a bit. You see these lows, all of these lows here, this support, yeah, captured. So, and okay, let me go lower so that let me show you. You can see this guy is generally on the downtrend. But unlike USD CHF, the downtrend is not that sharp because at this point we started to have a range. Right? It broke lower. It broke lower at this point. So we expect, okay, we trace into this point, then we keep selling. But unfortunately, it didn't respect this level. Now, if it doesn't respect this level, it's headed for the next level, right? It's headed for the next level. Now, depending on how price does it. So now what price is doing is that it's taking this one as our new support. So until for us to have sales, this level will need to be taken out, retested, and if it holds, then we can keep selling. And the reason I like it is because since I'm doing this on the daily time frame, if it holds, if I switch to my lower time frame, like 1 hour time frame, it will look massive. Take, for example, when this level held as support and was pushing to the upside, if I go to my 1 hour, it will look like a trend. It will look like a trend, right? You see when price bounced off here, for how many days price kept pushing higher, kept pushing higher. So there is no way you wouldn't be making profit if you are buying. Like there's absolutely no way you wouldn't be making profit. Worst case, you can have some drawdown, then before you know, it push higher. Now the dollar is really down. Hence, every other currency is taking advantage of it, like euro, dollar, GBP USD, even USD CHF. Now, NZD USD pushing to the upside, which, like I said, is what we are expecting because NFP came out back for the dollar. Even CPI yesterday wasn't good for the dollar as such also. All right, so we still expect a continuous push to the upside until. So usually we don't want to be too ambitious. You aim for the previous high, which is like this is the worst case scenario. This is where price is headed for, the previous high, the last significant high, so to say. So how do I join this buy? You can repeat this same process on your lower time frame. So you see these equal highs that price is taking out. That's one. But I do it with the one it just broke. So I prefer to do it with this one. You see these levels here? This level that price is breaking. Good. So in case price wants to do a retest, this is where I expect it to come to before we push to continuous push to the upside. All right. Before we keep buying it again. So everything looks bullish except USD CHF. Right. So into more interesting instruments again. Let's see something like oil. Or let's go to US 30. Now US 30. This same strategy, but you will need to be much more patient. Reason is, okay, before we go into indices, please, are you understanding what I'm talking about? Is there any question thus far? Are we together or are you lost? Anybody lost? Speak now or for the remaining of this, for the remaining of the session, remain silent. Please, are you understand? Are you getting
Yes.
the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is there any gray area? Okay, let me see the responses. Good, please. Okay. Good morning to
Yes.
everybody.
Solution,
Okay.
I understand is clear.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much. All right. So when we come to US 30, US 30, oh, you're welcome. US 30, US 100, US 2000, D30 or D40. They are the same family. They are all volatile. They are all heavy. So for you to trade them, I don't need to remind you that you don't need small money in your account, right? Point of buy or sell. This is where strategy comes in. So I'm giving you, like I said, I can't give you every single thing right here because we don't have time. Meanwhile, this is not a training session. This is just basically analysis session, right? So I'm infusing a bit of training with the analysis. Hello, I need everyone mute. Okay, thank you. All right, so if we do the same thing on the higher time frame. Now notice that, disclaimer, when it comes to indices, sometimes they can have this very, very sharp downward retracement. They have a natural uptrend, right? You can see if I zoom lower, they have a natural uptrend, all right? And this their uptrend can sometimes be unforgiving because it just keeps going and it won't look back for a long time. But when it looks back, it can be very disastrous. Okay, so that's one. Hence, so you will be careful doing this one. Now, when you do also take notes of the highs as well as the lows. Now, what do I mean? So if we go back, if we go back, so this is what I needed to understand also. So you would see, let's say, these equal highs, and I have some good amount of retracements. So I'm trying to, this thing is not just staying, I'm trying to bring it to where I want it to stay. Okay, so if we take this particular level right here, these equal highs, okay, and we put it here. Now you would notice that the moment price broke, it came to do a retest, not perfect, but it came. So basically, if it's close to my point of interest and my point of interest, and I see a shift in momentum, is good for me. So I would like to maintain this level. This is one. Now, also, sometimes you might be lucky to catch a very good continuation of that movement, which is you see this high here, price did a massive retest, and this retest was what brought us into this level. So you will notice that the moment price broke out, at that point there was this retest that first break, push back up, and a continuous push to the upside. All right. So remember, if price breaks the previous level, it's going back to if price breaks this level, like when it broke this level, it's aiming for this particular level. You can see when it went up again, broke this level. So indices can do like two levels. So sometimes you enter at a point of interest or a low, a support, so to say, and you find out that price is breaking below and it's breaking massive. Just go wait for it at the next support. Now, sometimes you can have, since you're indices, you can have some news or some stuff happening with the companies involved, because these are individual companies that were brought together. So they take the index price to represent the market capitalization of all of them. So hence you can see this very sharp movement, right? So sometimes you don't mind it taking you out from your stop loss. You don't mind, or you wouldn't mind, right? So, but basically work with two previous levels. So as you can see, this same level here, when price broke, is trying to retest and is holding at this level. Or sometimes if you want to follow what's happening currently, you want it to be aiming for these two equal highs right here. So you can see these two equal highs, right? Good. So if we do it this way now, so you can see that price didn't get here, although as much as it didn't get there, it's starting to reverse already. We are seeing some bullish momentum. Okay, which means that we can be buying at the break. We can be buying at the break. Right. So this is some equal highs. And put it all the way up. Now, this time price did not respect that point. It came back all the way down before it respected. You can see this small level here. This small level right here. So this is more like other block area that price is respecting. Okay. So which means that price can easily do either of these two, tap into this level, push further to the upside, or price can dip into this low before pushing to the upside. So it has an advantage if it pushes down to this level. The advantage is that you can be rest assured that price will push higher faster in a short period of time. Like it's going to pull higher. So your profitability is going to be much. But if you are buying it from here, if you test here and you're buying it, you don't really know how far it will go. We are just aiming for the next high, which should be around these levels. The previous highest point, which should be around these levels. Now, sometimes it goes there fast, sometimes it takes time to be slow, So we are still pushing higher with our indices. US 30, we're pushing higher. The same thing is going to be for US 100. The same thing is going to be for US 100. So we have a sweet and perfect high. So you can see this previous high here that was taken out. You can see it's respected it here, pushed higher. And when it broke below it, it came back to this levels. So it even broke below this level to another level. So indices, like I said, when they are doing their retracement, it can be unforgiving, right? But if you catch a good trade, you can make some good profit from it. Hence, I have this new level now. The price just broke above. So if at all there's going to be a continuous buy, I would like to see it coming down to this level. That's one. So forget about this level. The possibility of price coming to this level is very slim now at this point. So I might be dealing with this level and this level. These are my 2 points of interest. So where are they? All the way down. Now it looks far, right? Good. But don't be shocked when price does this massive sell. It looks like it's going up, it's going up. Let me give you an instance. It's going up, it's going up. So all of a sudden you see some crazy sales that will bring you back to that point that we're aiming for initially. All right. Okay. So let's just go back to current market price. Now, there's still a very high tendency that price might not come to that level anytime soon. So if I want to keep buying, I can repeat this same process. So if you notice on your 1 hour time frame now, like I said, it's not as strong as the higher time frames. So if I notice this level, see, just aim for a previous high that price did a significant retracement before breaking. If it can come back to that level before pushing higher, right? That's one. Then here again, notice that it pushed significant retracement that brought us here before it broke. So if you do it like this again, you will notice that it respected and it's pushing higher. Now, we have this internal level again, that price, it didn't go too far before it came back here. So we might be having something like this before a continuous push to the upside. Okay, so after price has tapped into our point of interest, for instance, and is pushing high, this is how sometimes I can be following it. Depending on what I'm trading, I can either use the break and retest, I can use other blocks, right? I can use supply demand areas to look for possible entry points. Okay, so we don't have enough time to talk about entry points. That's my training for that. Or if you want to learn that, you can just let me know. We can schedule session or sessions. So this is gold, for instance, the same thing. So for gold, sometimes price might take time to come to that level, like indices also. But once they get to that level, they have a very high tendency of pushing away very, very fast, right? Very, very fast. So if you notice this also, this is my daily. You can see this high that was taken out, significant retracement. You can see that price came back to retest before pushing to the upside. Now, that retest left us to this high. So if we do it this way, now we all have different ways of looking at the market. Okay, so this is the level I am. These are the 2 levels I'm working with right now, but majorly this level. This level. So, but you will notice that since price tapped into this level, this is where we are aiming for. Price has not really gotten, and price has not come back to this level. So we are keeping this level in case price comes back. Anytime gold gets here and it holds, that means for days we are going to be bullish. Okay, check out the last time price got to this point, 1 hour time frame, how massively price went to the upside. Let me see. Whoa, been a while. So see, so the last time price tapped in here, when it held and we had a structure shift. Structure shift means a previous high that was taken out, all right? So if you have that structure shift, all you need to do is wait for it to break above a last significant high, which is this. Now, when it broke above, you can see the retest came slightly inside. Your other block would have been best used, but it came back above, which means we can now buy it all the way to the previous high. Okay, so when these highs also were broken, these 2 equal highs, see these 2 equal highs, you see when they were broken, all you needed was to wait for price to come back into that level. Sometimes it might come back, and when it comes back, you have a very good trade. Notice how when it came back, no matter where you buy from, you'll be in profit very fast, and your profitability is going to be very, very much, very, very much, let me say. All right. Aha. Now, on my 4-hour time frame, lastly, there's an internal low, which is this level. Um, so this is the level that I am focused on because price has failed to come into this level here that I'm expecting. So I will still want to buy here. If I see price come to this level and it respects this level and it starts pushing up, then I would like to buy it, aiming for the high point again. And it happened last week also with NFP. NFP was what brought us to this point. So you can see Friday, it got here, was it Tuesday first, Wednesday, then Thursday, it wasn't have that momentum, but Friday, it finally took out a previous high. So you can now see we're bullish all through, been bullish. Now it looks like price is ranging and possibly wants to come back into this level. So if I see price around this level, then I like to keep buying again. That's it. Silver also. Silver is very interesting. Unlike gold, it's also very, very profitable. But it's not controlled by the weakness of dollar. Unlike gold that will just be changing directions of silver is not like that. So the same thing I've done on silver. All right, the same thing I've done on silver. You see, whenever price breaks, I'm expecting it to retest, which it did, retest. And when it comes down, see one swift move on a daily that brought us back into this point, right? So these are the points of interest. Now, price broke above all of these levels right here. You can see this high. So I was waiting for a retest, but the retest didn't happen here. It happened here. Okay, so which means here is where our latest buy area is. That's one. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this. Okay, good. So notice that at some point it created equal highs around here, right? And finally it broke out. So we had a retest here. It looked like it wasn't going to hold, but finally held. Okay, but finally held. Now this point looked like it wasn't going to hold. Now that it has held, back price is back up above that level. So on silver also, we are still flying, and at least we are flying to this level. Okay, bye. Right now, this is easy peasy. It helps you to understand the direction where price should be headed to. Right? How long will it take to get there? You might not be able to tell. Most times, I can't even tell how long it's going to take for price to get there. So we use my higher time frame to know from where am I trading from, where is price most likely to get to before it starts pushing in this direction. All right. So for instance, you mark this level, price came in here. Now there's another thing that I need to confirm that, oh, I shouldn't just be buying because I can buy, price goes lower. I want to time my entry to be not 100% perfect, because even me, I'm still trying to get 100% perfection on my entries, but at least let me have like 80, 70, 80% perfect, which means that if at all I have drawdown, my drawdown should be very little before price starts going my way. All right, that's what I mean. If at all I have drawdown, just small negative, if it's not immediately, before all of a sudden it just goes my way. So I shouldn't be sweating because I'm on the trade. So in that instance, I will need a confirmation, which I will call the fractal. And you only understand fractal if you understand market structure. So possibly we are going to, I don't know, I can't tell you when that can happen. So for coffee also, the same thing. So this is my daily. Let me start from my daily, right? So my daily, you can see that there was this two equal highs, this high that was broken. So I left this area because price can come back to these levels. Now, as much as it kept pushing higher, before it got to this level, it pushed higher, created this high, dropped lower, broke this high. So I marked this level, price kept respecting this level. So remember, I like keeping two levels because if at all it breaks one, then it's headed for the one below it. So this level here, after price broke above these highs, it came into it and will continue buying. Now, normally for me to have confidence that we are still bullish, price should have gone to take out this high. So the failure to take out this one, and it came back to this point again. It kept pushing, but it didn't go as high as this. Now, finally, it broke this point. So I left this area. This is where we started buying from. Now, it has gotten to this point. So for it to break here, it can break this level, sorry, respected this level, get to this level, and one of two things will happen. It can respect this level and push back to the downside. Okay, so you need to understand how price move. I know where it's moving from, where it should go to. Now, am I going to be having some sales? It depends. I need market structure to tell me, to give me that sell structure. Sell structure means price will break below a significant low. So, for example, now, if we were to keep buying, this is what I want to see. I want to see, you can see this previous high. Okay, unlike here, you see this previous high that price just took out. Price came back, respected it perfectly, and went to the upside. Now, it left us with another high. This is now my lower time frame. I'm looking for entries. Okay, you see this high? Retracement, there's a high. So if we mark this level here, notice that price did not respect it. Instead, it's using this previous support as what now? A resistance, headed towards this level. So if it goes to this level, and if it breaks this level again, it will use this level again as resistance to keep pushing to the downside, all right? Until price gets to wherever it needs to get to. And where will price most likely get to? So it has not created a significant high. So for now, there's a very high tendency of bearish movement on profit. Very high tendency of bearish movement. Worst case scenario is that price might want to go back into this resistance and start that downward movement again. Okay. Yes, someone's hand was up. I'm so sorry. If you are still interested in talking, just raise up the hand again so I can mute you. What happened to good yesterday after the NFL? We did not get any serious movement on the right movement. Okay. NFL or CPI? CPI was what happened yesterday. But before I take a question, let me take that. Is this silver a volatile metal? Can 100K? No, 100K cannot trade. It's very similar to gold. Like, yes, it's not as crazy like that kind of up-down movement like gold. It works a bit like currency, but it's as heavy as gold. Yes, very similar, the same pip size, lot movement, profitability. Yes. All right. Okay, so I think doing. Yes, please go ahead. You can unmute and go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, please, I just want you to please kindly go back to UJ, please. USJPY, please.
USDJPY, we did not analyze that.
Okay, God bless you. Thank you. Please, you can do that. I appreciate it.
Okay, so for USDJPY, we do the same thing. Now, understand sometimes if you are trading some stuff, know it like the back of your hand. So, for instance, USDJPY, it has a natural uptrend also, like indices. So, I'm on daily now, it has a natural uptrend. But sometimes the retracement can also be massive. That's one. So, now, if we do the same thing that we've been doing, you will notice that we are coming from these lows. We are coming from this level. Okay. All right. So we'll be bullish on this level. Hence, I want to be repeating this thing I'm doing at every point that price gives me that break. So take for instance, I can see a mini break here, but this retracement is more significant. So this level is better than this one. So if I have this one, so you notice that price first time didn't respect, came back to start again. So it came back to this low. But when it finally broke, now it's respecting, all right, respecting this low. So this time around, price, after tapping into this low, so all this downward movement you see is in a bid to come into this level for us to start pushing to the upside again. Now, even if it will break this level, I will know, and you will not find me buying it when price goes down. Like for the last, let's say, couple of months, let's say 7 months now, I've been able to try to understand if a level will hold or not because of this confirmation called fractal. If you don't see certain things, I'm not in a hurry. Now, if I see it, I know that for days it will be going in my direction, right? So what do I mean? Take, for example, when price came into, let's look for any point of interest that price has come into before and respected. Okay, good, this level. Now, for price to come to this level here, price was first of all creating that bearish movement, right? It was coming down, down, down. So how do you know when that downward movement has ended? First, if you have done your daily break of that high and mark that level, you would have gotten something like this. For you to know if it will hold, right? Price needs to shift from being bearish to bullish, and market structure gives me. Let me just give you a small hint, summary. If it's coming down, price is creating highs, never breaking above the highs, instead breaking below the low it created. So this was a low. This was a high, created this low. It should not break this high. If it breaks this high, it has violated our structure, right? Now price came all the way down. Meanwhile, it created this low. So what happens? It took out this low, retested, and pushed even lower, not breaking above the high. It took out this low, retested, left us with this high, retraced, not breaking above this high, pushed even lower. Now, what I want to see is a violation of that kind of pattern, which is this was the last high that price left us, right? This was the last significant high that price left us. Now, when price starts pushing higher, the moment price breaks this high, I know we have shifted. So all I need to do is to just mark out that level, wait for price, depending on how far price push, wait for price to retrace. One of two things will happen. It either respect this level or it then comes back to do what we call double bottom. If you have heard of double bottom before, this place, the last low it created becomes my protected low, a very strong low. So it can do double bottom and push to the upside. Now, on the condition that it breaks this low, it means that it was a fake out and price wants to push lower. So I can close out my trade or allow it to hit stop loss, no problem. But whenever price shifts, the confidence is that I am going to be buying you for days. And you can see how massively pushed, push, 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 right? So what's happening? Price want to come back to this level. So for me to keep buying, I need to see a shift in structure, which is breaking above a previous high. Now you'll agree with me that you see all of these equal highs here have now been taken out, right? They've been taken out. So what am I expecting? Retracement. After the retracement, to keep pushing me high. Now, like I said, it can either stop here or come back to do what? A double bottom. So it shouldn't break here. If it breaks this level, it means that price will enter this level. And if at every point I want to see that shift in structure. So most likely this level is going to hold for us. But in the long run, USDJPY is going to be a buy trade. It's going to be a buy in the long run. Even if you have your buy now, as long as you have enough money to hold on to the drawdown, you will still end up in profits. Okay. So peradventure, maybe you are buying right now and it's going down. Don't worry, it's a matter of time to reverse and it will go up. Okay. Yes, so I think I've answered that question. Okay, so what happened to gold? It's 9 a.m. already. I need to go. What happened to gold? Yeah, we didn't see enough volatility. Sometimes the volatility happened in NFP. NFP gave us this, so CPI didn't give us. So sometimes check it very well. If NFP failed to give you volatility, CPI will most times. And if CPI failed to, if NFP gives you volatility, CPI might. Okay, CPI minus. So they are interchange, unlike before where we have both. I kept being impulsive whenever I pick a trade, take loss and take trades over. Okay. Okay. All right. So just contact me. Let me drop my number here. Okay. So 00265822493. But you can call me up. Victor, they call me Bishop. Okay. So in case you have further questions, but I need to go right now. So 00265822493. I'm sorry I can't answer every question here. I need to be in another meeting right now. All right. So thank you very much for your time. Wishing you a very, very peaceful day. Please go over to YouTube. We have the same video is recorded. Go to YouTube and watch this video, understand the concept I talked about, and you can reach out if there's any further questions. Thank you so much.